Okay. How do I grab links again? It's been a bit. Share to. Copy. There we go. How do I grab links again? Can you say one more word just so we know you're good? Copy. There we go. How do I grab links again? Can you say one more word just so we know you're good? Copy. Fudge. Why? Oh, I know we're not good because it's a different. We can't hear you on that one. We're good. I think we're good. To Discord we go. I'll put it in Gen Chat. I know we're not good because it's a different. We can't hear you on that one. We're good. I think we're good. To Discord we go. I'll put it in Gen Chat. I know we're not good because it's a different. We can't hear you on that one. We're good. I think we're good. To Discord we go. I'll put it in Gen Chat. All right. Blizz. I'm gonna be super loud on this, so I'm actually gonna turn my well, hopefully people in the chat can do it. Can you stop? Okay. Let's just make sure output. Where are you? Here. That's not it. Video output. There we go. I'm just gonna make sure we have you. Yeah, we have you as loud as possible, Loons.
All right.
Oh wait. There. Say something real quick.
Hello, 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 hello.
Okay. I think that'll work. Yeah, you're all the way loud. You need to be louder than me.
Do I need to be louder than you?
No. Yeah, I mean, in a way. I feel like my voice is kind of loud. I don't know how to wear a buff with my hair down, but we'll attempt it. So
I have my buff ready.
Anyways, yeah, let's do an
I have
intro. Let's
both
put
of
on
them
the
ready.
buffs. You have two? Oh my gosh.
I have two, yeah.
Let's put on the buffs. Let's see how I do this. The official buffs as we start talking. Oh, I'm like choking myself. There we go. Okay. I don't know how.
I'm putting mine on.
Super nerds there. Okay. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, no, it looks weird.
Buff. There you go.
Mine is like, yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Buffing
there we go.
Up. Cool. Well, I guess we should introduce ourselves as this being the first little bit here. Do you want to start?
Sure. So we are starting now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I never got the memo. Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to Gorge Tea. I am your co-host Luna. I'm here with my other awesome co-host Buck. This is the first episode of Gorge Tea. We will be spilling all the tea, talking Survivor, debating Survivor, going through the cast, everything. That's what we will be doing today. Just to introduce myself, I'm Luna. I am a college student right now in my last year of undergrad, 21 years old. I love Survivor. I got into it last year around like May-ish because of the pandemic, and I had been a huge fan of Big Brother for a few years, and I'd always wanted to try Survivor but never really had the time. But then because of quarantine, the time finally came, and then my sister and I binge watched so many seasons, and then I got really hooked. I like it even more than Big Brother now. Big Brother kind of sucks nowadays, and love Survivor so much that I was like, you know what, let me play fucking online reality games on Discord. And then that's how I met my awesome co-host Buck.
Yeah, that was crazy how we met. Ooh, do we have echo? Yeah. No?
No, I don't hear any echo.
Okay. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I think it was my first ever game of this online org area.
It was my first Survivor, but it wasn't my first game.
Okay.
I had played a Big Brother one.
Definitely my first game, as I was so freaking. Just quick side note. I was the paranoid one every single time. I'd be like, it's me, right? And then I'd be like, dude, it is obviously not you. Like, shut up. So anyways, I voted Luna twice with the same parchment. I had a double vote.
She did.
I didn't even make the parchments look separate, so he knew it was me. And then he was like, hey, let's actually work together. And I was like, I'll take him up on that offer. I don't know if it's a real offer. And then we, became good besties, and yet here we are. So this is what I think is so cool about our attempt here, is we will probably never get a chance to go to the real Survivor. I don't like fish. I'm scared of bugs. But yet we've played how many hours of this sort of similar game, so I feel like when we talk about this stuff, we still have a little bit of that strategy there. You know, we still have a little
mostly,
bit
mostly on the game, or like the strategic side, you know, because there's the physical aspect of being on the island starving.
Yes.
That definitely impacts a lot. But, you know, in terms of just simply playing the game, you know, we've done that multiple times.
Sure. How many people play with their SATs and stuff like that too, where they're like, you're just trying to say hi to them in our world and they almost bite off your head because they have their own personal life stuff going on. So to that point, as we start right now to talk about season 41, real quick, I'm 28, obviously. Well, not obviously, why did I say that? But I don't think I've watched a live Survivor, a live USA Survivor since the first one, when I was, I don't know how old I'd be, like 7 or 8 or something, I don't know. So for me to have gotten into the Survivor world and now drinking the Kool-Aid, I'm very excited. So I just like, I can't wait to see. We'll make some predictions this episode, and then we have to look back at those, you know, towards the end of the season and be like, what were we right or wrong? And I'm gonna argue that we will probably be more right than, like, you know, a stay-at-home mom just chilling tonight who comes across it. Like, I'm hoping we're better at this than, like, the average Joe, since we play it online so much. So next episode, I'm gonna put a cute Horvivor logo in the corner because we always have to be advertising, obviously.
Yes. To add on, we Buck and her awesome friend Atomic made their own Survivor game called Horvivor. I happened to win season 1, which was kind of crazy because she didn't even have to rig it for me. And then she let me come on as a host for season 2, and season 2 was absolutely amazing. Literally everybody on the cast was great. And like, if it was a real season of Survivor, it would be like a top tier season, just like all the strategy and all the blind sides and like the advantage uses and all that. And we're currently casting for season 3, so if anybody watching is into orgs or is, you know, familiar with the community, definitely check it out. It's gonna be great. The theme is Saw, the Saw horror movie series, so there will be blood.
I almost bought a mask for that, by the way. But then I was like, when are you gonna use that mask again? And don't answer that question. You know, like, I don't want to know why I would need that mask again after. No,
I buy useless shit all the time, so.
Including our new prop for when we have guests call in. I'm gonna. This whole studio is gonna look completely different, probably even by next week as we hit Halloween. But this is just the first very quick episode, as we decided to do this not even 24 hours ago. So
yeah, this all was made up very fast.
And here we are. So yeah, let's dive in, like, person by person. First, let's just talk about first episode. So tonight we're gonna get little snippets of everyone. But what I hope for tonight, just as we start this whole thing off, is I want that person to come in and be like, you know, like the communications, the people that don't know how to make the shelters. I love it when they're like, they're not doing it right, you know, or something like that. And you got the rancher out there, I'm sure, like Brad or whatever. He's just going to be like, here's how you make it. And then you get those people that should just shut up and they bring that drama. I want that tonight. Is there anything that you really want to see tonight?
Yeah, no, definitely. And like, I think that's something we don't even think about as much, because, you know, when we're watching the show, the main thing we want is like the blind sides, the idle moments. But then we forget those little small elements of the fact that you're actually surviving. You know, you're literally starving out there, and you gotta build a shelter and all that, and like all that is really hard to do. Like, not many people can like build a shelter out of, you know, on a freaking island. So and that, definitely always causes a lot of tension. And a lot of those early relationships are based off of how much you contribute to camp. So, however, whoever, if people are butting heads this early, it could lead to some good conflict that we'll see later on down the line. So definitely watch out for those moments, because those moments will be the ones that could clue us into future relationships.
For sure. They click right away, or you don't click right away. And that's one of my favorite parts of what we watch tonight, is I can kind of pick up on that. So, really looking forward to that. Also looking forward to this being called the New Era.
Yes.
I think it's impossible to guess what they're going to do. Loved that Jeff kind of threw out there, like, hey, everyone always hated the new change. Because I think even us playing on a online level, there is that sort of hate of new rules or new games or things people haven't done before. Survivor people are always quick to explain, like, why that's not fair. So I don't even think we should waste time trying to predict what it is, because with 26 days, actually, let's just talk about that. What is that twist going to be?
Fast-paced game. Like, at this point, Jeff he's basically kind of, because I think in one video, Jeff was saying, like, the fans usually don't like our twists, but then he pretty much was saying, like, but we don't really care, and then you guys eventually learn to accept them.
Yeah.
So, and with the 26 days is, just for production reasons, they were saying that they did that mostly because they needed to film both seasons back to back, and if they had both of them be 39 days, then they wouldn't. I think, like, Fiji only gave them a certain amount of time or something like that. So that's why they had to shorten the game. But then there was an entertainment article that came out recently where Jeff pretty much said that, we're probably not going to go back to 39 days. And, like, a lot of fans, don't like that, because, the 39 days is like the staple, the tradition, but at the same time, like, and some former Survivor castaways were saying that they actually were for the change, because, at the end of the day, we're getting an edited show. We're getting 39 days edited into only 15 episodes. So there's a lot of downtime. There's, like, probably just days of footage where they're just lying around camp, like, not really doing anything, because, especially if you're a tribe that won tribal immunity, then you don't really have to worry about anything for like 2 days. So you're just kind of there chilling. But now with the 26 days, your mind is always going to be racing. You're always going to be like, all right, trying to think like 4 moves ahead, because you might win tribal immunity, and then, oh crap, like only a day has passed by and you're already getting ready for the next challenge.
Yeah, there's going to be some double eliminations or something in there. There just has to be. So, that's kind of the whole episode synopsis. We love it. We're going to probably have some good favorites and be able to kind of call out, who's leading, who's not. But without further ado, let's make some, educated guesses on some people. Like, not only, this is our first episode, so let's focus a little bit more on what we think we're going to see out of this. So this is what we'll look back, in how many days, how many episodes here. And we'll start here with Brad Reese, who is the rancher. To me, I did say earlier, he looks like a little Gary Busey. He has very intense teeth. And he seems like a pretty intense person. One of his answers for what he hoped the twist would be is a winner-takes-all scenario, meaning you and one other person would fight for your entire tribe. To me, that's pretty intense. So I think if he can lay off the gas a little bit, I think he has a better chance. But if he comes in with his crazy eyes and his big smile grimacing or something like that, I think he could be a quick boot.
Yeah, I agree. I think Brad here is gonna, his main thing is gonna be to lower that intensity a little bit, because on his bio it says hunting, fishing, and all that. So maybe leaning more into that, because he seems like he might want to be the provider of whatever tribe he ends up on. And I think in the early game especially, it would be really important for him to like take on that. So that way there's an incentive to keep him around, because he'll be a provider. And he could even, strategically lower his threat level a little bit by saying like, look, hey, I'm only good for like fishing, or like, building a shelter.
Because otherwise, provider turns into leader very quickly. So you have to try to set that boundary of what you can and can't do, or kind of seem hopeless in other areas, or else you're going to be put as leader first. He might be one of those guys. He's going to be on my up there to like, he might be doing that.
I think I'm hoping he'll give fun confessionals too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he has that vibe where he can give some funny like one-liners here and there. So I'm looking forward to what Brad has to offer.
But here, as big NFL fans, I don't know who this guy is. I think we both got into NFL maybe a little past when he was here. Maybe I don't know. He doesn't stick out to me all that much.
I don't think he was like a big name, Danny.
Must not be.
I think he was like second string probably.
Yeah, so to me, he's going to be obviously great at challenges. One of those people, again, he's got to tone it down a little bit or come in be super good at challenges and then try to act dumb and maybe let other characters try to play you for a little bit is kind of what I think this guy has to do. He will be staying, in my opinion, my prediction. He's going to stay at least 5 boots in because of how good he's going to be at challenges. No one's going to
definitely. Definitely. I think, because I see, obviously being a former NFL player, he's very competitive. So I can see a situation where maybe if his tribe isn't performing well, that, that maybe like starts to get to him, because you want to perform at a high level. So I could see maybe that potentially causing a little bit of conflict, depending on if their tribe is doing, well.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting to see. Yeah. I definitely see him taking on that or trying to take on that like leader role, so we'll see if it works out for him. And yeah, I think he'll for sure, because of his prowess or athletic prowess, he'll be one of those like, oh no, we need him for challenges.
Yeah, he'll be one carrying someone who rolls their ankle type of person. So,
which, if I was on the show, that would be me. So.
All right, this next guy, after looking over some clips and research today, is pretty much my new not favorite person. This David Vochervachi, whatever it could say. One main reason that I didn't like him is one of his answers to how he's going to win the game is because he already has a perfect strategy. If anyone says that, they're not going to be adaptable. They're not going to be a very good player. So for this guy to think he already cracked the game, I'm like, F you already. This guy is going to cause drama.
Definitely.
This guy's going to be an earlier boot or he's going to be used as a shield. That's all I can really say about him.
Yeah. So the funny thing about this guy is, and a lot of people online have saying that he strikes a resemblance to Ben Shapiro, which I think is kind of funny to think about. So, he definitely has that arrogant vibe.
Yeah.
And, but there at the same time, there's a lot of confidence here. And while I agree that I do think he's going to be very like aggressive, like overconfident, maybe really cocky probably to some of the other contestants. But like you said, he could end up being used as a shield, which I definitely could see happening here, especially because he says in his bio that he would play similar to Russell Hantz, who we know to be an aggressive idle advantage user. So, if he ends up finding those advantages, if he ends up being able to leverage that, even when people are aware that like this guy is super cocky, this guy has a bunch of advantages, yet they still might not do anything, and I've seen that happen firsthand in an org I played in. One guy he had literally so many advantages and everybody knew it, and yet they all still let him control the boats,
Yeah.
So, and again, that leads into the whole, well, they're using him as a shield, he'll always get targeted before them. But then the issue with the shield argument, is that once it gets past a certain point, then it's like, all right, well, you still let them walk all the way to the end. So, but it'll all depend on if he's able to effectively do it. And I could see him being able to maybe pull that off, like from like maybe 14 to like 10 to 8-ish. But then past a certain point, I could see people being sick of him and then be like, nope, let's get him out.
So our bet is he would maybe make it to merge.
Yeah, I think I could see him making merge.
I hope he doesn't.
Yeah.
I get a vibe from this guy. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah.
I get wiener from him. I just do.
I think he'll be a character for sure.
A little turd nugget. On to Desean.
Desean.
Don't know much about him, but from what I've heard, I would agree he does sound quite charming and not threatening to me. I'm gonna give this guy a good chance of probably making merge here because he's 26. He honestly doesn't look 26. Sorry,
he does not
look like 32, at least. But I think him being young and challenge-wise, I think he's going to stick to the other bronze guys or however this twist turns out. I think he's going to make it to merge. Is my bet.
Yeah, I think this guy is going to be a reliable. Will do his part in camp. Will do his part in the challenges. I don't see him like ever being like a pot stirrer. I think he'll be, especially if early alliances form around. He'll be one of those. I could see him being a person who gets invited to these alliances, and used as a number. So I kind of, that's the position I see him getting put in. It'll be interesting to see how he manages that if that ends up happening. Because he does say 3 words to describe himself: charming, devious, and resilient. And it's the devious that I'm, thinking more about. I'm like, all right, you say you're devious, so we'll see if you actually end up doing that. Because, when you're actually out there, it might be like way harder. And then all the relationships you make might be more difficult to manage. But yeah, I agree. I think he'll be one of those, solid, maybe under the radar players. But we'll see.
We'll see on Desean. On to Eric Abraham, the cybersecurity analyst. This guy, from what I did today too, he's in a weird zone for me. I honestly don't think I can really say a lot about him right now. I thought he was kind of like Desean a bit, but then in the last thing I saw about winning, I think he just said something that was just boring. Or actually, it was very confident. I could see him almost butting heads with a David or something.
Definitely.
There's a lot of I don't really have much to say about this guy. He's just I can't put my finger on him yet.
Yeah, I see him also being an under the radar, but maybe like in a negative scenario, because like you said, he is a little older in this cast, and oftentimes like the older and the younger players like butt heads over like camp life and things like that. So that could definitely be a factor for him. But yeah, I agree. I don't really have much else to say about him. I don't really see him being the type to like, find out, like making the big moves, quote unquote, So it'll be interesting to see how he tries to manage it. But yeah.
Let's move on to one of my favorites. Someone I think I've drafted a couple times is Erica. She is, I can tell communications. I already love someone who's part communications like that. I think she has a good chance here of making it deep in the game is my bet. I've picked her to win several times, but I don't know yet. She said something that I can't really remember, but something about maybe you remember. I think you're freezing a little bit, but I don't know. I just have good feelings about Erica. She's 5 feet tall. I don't know a lot of history, but I want to say that like sometimes the short people can do better.
I'm back.
Oh, you back?
Yeah, my internet got disconnected for a second.
She's like 5 feet tall, dude, and I was about to say, isn't there like a good vibe if you're like fit and 5 foot woman? Like, doesn't that like sometimes just work the hell out in this game?
Yeah.
You just are like this little sucker punch type of player.
Yeah, I see her working hard at camp. I see her making those connections.
Definitely.
I think Erica will be a solid player.
If she doesn't over strategize, I think
she would. That's the thing.
To over strategize.
And with a lot of like, I think the female players in particular, they're always in like a weird spot where if they come like over strategize, and the men get like intimidated.
Yes.
And then
we hate to see it, but it's definitely
we hate to see it. Yeah, we hate to see that. So because then she's like in a. And not just for her, but for any of the other female players as well. They're in this weird, like, double-edged sword where if they don't strategize, then they're perceived as goats. But then if they start to, then the men instantly get, like, terrified of them. And then they're like, they're like, oh, my God, next Parvati or whatever. And then they're screwed. So, and, it doesn't go just for her. Like, again, like, all the female players on this cast and, like, any future Survivor, like, until we get rid of this this issue that, like, Survivor has.
Play a big role, too.
Yeah, that too.
If, these poor people come in and they're not the best at challenges. I mean, like, a dude who's bad at challenges has a better chance of staying in Survivor than a woman.
Yeah, definitely. And to add on to that, Jeff,
just
and I think... Yeah, Jeff said in a video recently that he said like, well, okay, he said in an interview like a few months back that he wanted to find a way to reward challenge players more. Um, and the fan base were a little bit like about that. And afterwards, I think in the video, a preview video that was released that I saw yesterday, he said something like, "It's not enough to just like win a challenge anymore." He said like if you lose an immunity challenge, like you also lose more at camp or whatever. Like you lose like your flint. I think he said you lose your flint or something.
Yeah. Okay.
So I think that's and I have mixed feelings on that because then again we're just because I feel like that's Jeff just trying to get his ideal survivor players like more of a chance to go further because Jeff likes his like his strong challenge people.
Sure.
So I think that change will definitely be interesting because then you're like, all right, well we kind of have to literally keep our good challenge people because otherwise we're literally gonna like be damn near dying at camp because of these new rules.
They already kind of were getting deflated. I've seen people cry all the time after challenges. Like it hits them hard. So very interesting to see if that's the case because then people will be debilitated. But to that point, as a producer, you're going to get more drama. You're going to get more fights. You're going to get more misery. And isn't that kind of what half or some people are really here to watch?
Yeah. Actually, funny thing. A lot of people. I think there was a study that read that like most people watch Survivor for the challenges than the actual like strategy and all that, which I thought was kind of like interesting.
Right. Well, hey, I'm like American Ninja Warrior, so I
yeah, because like I mean, at least when I watch the show, I literally don't even pay attention to the challenges. So I'm literally just like, all right, I just want to see who wins, so that we can get to the strategizing and the scrambling and all that,
Totally. So yeah, let's get to, I think it's Evie next.
Evie?
I don't know how many people in our community have picked Evie. So
a lot. No, she. Wait, do they use she or they pronouns? Sorry. I feel like I remember.
It doesn't even say on the. It says she on the CBS website, but we can just go with they to be super.
Okay.
At top of it.
Yeah.
I like to err on that side.
Yeah. Same here. So Evie has been one of the most hyped contestants coming into this season for sure. A lot of people really like them. A lot of people have a lot of high hopes for them. So there's obviously a lot of pressure here. Granted the season has already been filmed and all that, so it's only the other contestants who know how everybody did, but I definitely see them as that like nerd like super fan nerd archetype here, like a Cochrane, so I think, and the thing is that archetype is especially because after you've had like your nerdy super fans like Cochrane or like Adam or any of the other more recent ones, there is usually that like perception that like, oh, they're gonna be a very good strategist and all that, and I do think Evie like is a good strategist. It's just how are they gonna be able to manage that, because I can instantly see people seeing them as a threat like right off the bat.
Exactly. So for everyone kind of pinging that as their one to go to, I'm like, there are so many things here that could cause them to be a flop, so I would almost put them in the category of flop. I also, low-key little crushing on it, like I'll be watching, but this isn't the person out of the entire game that I'm gonna tie my vote to. I want them to do good. I really, really do.
Yeah, same here. I want them to do well.
Pet peeves, it's men. That and then it was that someone pronounced Budapest weird because they thought it was smart. I think they are going to get a little carried away here if they can't keep that all in. So I'm gonna say flop on this one. I want them to do good. Like compared to David, I'd love to see it, but I just don't. I don't know here.
Yeah,
that's my vibe. My vibe on that one. So let's go to my hidden gem. Your girl is picking her. She is legit. I've watched some videos. This is my knight in shining armor right here. I'm going to predict she hits merge. I'm going to predict she does good. There's characters like this all the time in Survivor. They sit back. They don't really hurt the challenges. They probably maybe kill a puzzle or two. They do one good thing. The Denise, right? What I was saying.
Yeah.
This is my Denise. I think she's gonna be a sweetheart.
Yes, I agree. I think people will love her. So I think I could see the social game being very well suited for her here. So I agree with you. I do see Genie making merge. I do see success here. I guess it just depends on how if she is able to manage this social game.
True.
Because oftentimes that can be, people will be like, oh, we all love her, we would all vote for her, so we gotta vote her out, So we'll see if that comes into play.
With all these people going hard, sometimes it's the grocery clerk that's chilling out that can just keep going. This is interesting. Heather. She is cocky from what I've seen in some videos, very in shape, so I can't say she's gonna crap out of the challenges. 52 though, so that is a bit, but she seems very active. She seems low-key villain, and I predict she's going to have drama. I'm gonna predict easily, but with both genders, it's just gonna be a thing. I think.
Yeah.
That's just not gonna make match. Heather will not make match.
I see Heather as kind of like a Chrissy from season 35.
Okay.
And Chrissy, was very strategic. She was the older women archetype. And she played very well, and she almost won the game, and really could have won the game if Ben hadn't found so many idols. So I can see her.
She'll make merge.
I don't know, because she does seem very athletic, and she is a stay-at-home mom, so she could play into that being the mother of the tribe or whatever. If she's able to do that, then I could see her probably having maybe a good social game. I guess it just depends on what direction she leans, because if she does lean into that, then I think she could do well, but maybe and manage threat level well. My question mark is on how strategic she might be, because it seems like she definitely wants to be involved in conversations. She says she wants to play Rick Devens from Edge of Extinction, who was a very used advantages a lot, was very involved in strategic talk and all that. So I could definitely see. It depends on how she wants to manage that. If she wants to be at the center of strategic thinking and all that.
Yeah. And that's where I see her falling flat. Is she's gonna try to do those things, but she's not gonna be able to do that. And then just one quick thing from her bio: what do you think about someone that goes into Survivor, but their pet peeve is people who choose not to hear the truth? That's gonna be very frustrating for her when people maybe know the truth, but just will be lying to her. So
people lie in this game.
She ain't make a merge.
People lie in this game, so.
Whoopsie, Heather. Okay. Another flop for me. This guy with his, no offense, shell necklace from the early 2000s. I'm not a big fan of Jarius. I see him as being played by other characters. That's my bet.
Yeah.
There's no way he's running this game unless he gets an advantage soon.
I think he's gonna try to run the game. I could see him trying to form an alliance early on. I could see him trying to call the shots, but then that could end up rubbing people the wrong way. And then because he's one of the youngest people on the cast, if not the youngest, at 20 years old, he's younger than me, which is I'm like, damn, weird. This guy's 20 years old and going on to the show. I guess the only thing that could help him is the physical, is the competition stuff. If he ends up
running, dance.
Yeah, if he ends up doing well in that aspect, then I could see him being kept around. But it depends on how he wants to handle the actual game aspect and having strategic talk and having being able to make alliances with everybody.
Yep.
So I think it'll be interesting to see how he does that, because he might be in trouble, as we were talking.
Yeah, I think I said it. I don't think he's gonna make merge. Just don't. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's my bet. Liliana, to me, is I'm gonna call it the shyest person on the cast from what I've gathered in my very small research. She seems very sweet, very quiet, and I can't make a decision on her based on how shy she is,
Yeah.
but I could see her getting well. She will be a wallflower, is what I see. I can't see her having any issues with anyone, and my God, if I'm wrong, this will be super funny to look back on. But I don't know. She seems like the opposite of Jarius. Like, she's not going to make waves. She might try to act a little older than she is. But
I agree. I think your assessment of her being a wallflower is definitely a good one. I think I could see that. I could see her being under the radar, letting others come to her with information, letting others be the one spearheading the votes. So that way, if the target ever flings in her direction, it isn't directly on her. I think I could see her getting well with some of the older folks too. Which definitely could be used to her advantage. So, I think she'll be an under the radar player. I agree. I don't see her like butting heads with people or like causing drama like that.
Yeah, her biggest thing might be getting pulled into too many like alliances or situations.
Yeah, because then she could get pulled into that like flipper position where people are always coming to her to flip and all that. So, which oftentimes devalues a person's game. Because then they're not the top of the alliance, but they're not the bottom per se. So I don't know. I'm interested. I'm for sure interested to see what she does. I have high hopes for her. I think she can, because I kind of see a little bit of myself in her with like the being shy, being the wallflower thing. So I'm rooting for her for sure.
So now as we move on to Nasir, if I'm saying it correctly.
Nasir, yeah.
He's going to be interesting. He just doesn't seem as athletic, his hobbies and what he is. So I would say he's going to be a puzzle piece player is what I see. Like, he's going to maybe think he's also kind of running the game. He never maybe will be is kind of how these are my predictions, my fun predictions. I think he is going to be laid back, always feeling kind of confident that he's in like a good spot. That's all I can really say about him. I know I'm not keeping track of people and if they're making merge or not. I could see him getting carried away with an advantage and not making merge. I feel like he might go crazy for advantages.
Yeah.
That's my fun bet.
Yeah, I know because I feel like I watched a video by Peridium, shout out to Peridium, where he went over the whole cast and I think for him, he said that there might be a bit of a language barrier issue here. So we'll see if he's going to be able to make I think for him the biggest thing will be being able to make those key connections. Because we might not see like a lot of challenge prowess here. So it'll be interesting to see how
he grew up in Sri Lanka or whatever, like it says, with a remote village and an outhouse, he's going to be one of the most comfortable people there. So that could be a really big advantage for him. Is no problem, So he might be the glue. Maybe my puzzle piece can still be right. Maybe he's the guy that is a teddy bear and they all kind of love because he's like, I love this spot. Like I'm used to this, or like this ain't too bad, guys. So. Be interesting. Next is another player I'm very excited about. I think it's Ricard, not Richard or anything. It is the flight attendant. I did find out today he is hard of hearing, and so he's really into body language. That is key. Like, the one thing of why I'm not super, super amazing, not saying I'm that amazing at Survivor, is if I could see people's faces and their body stuff, I'd for sure really know that they're lying to me versus text. So I predict he will make merge. I really have predicted him to win before. But it's interesting, right? He's not going to be the biggest challenge set and stuff like that, but it's all about his strategy. So I think he's going to be good, social, okay, challenge, strategy. That's what it's going to be up to.
Yeah, I think I know. How'd you say his name? Ricard?
Yeah, that's just how I'm trying it. I think it's French.
Because in my head, I want to say Richard, but then I know it's not Richard. It's Ricard. Okay, he has been another person that I think people are really high on, and I think he's gonna be like, solid at like almost every aspect of the game. Maybe like the weakest part might be his physical, Yes, but I definitely see him being a strategist, you know, to the point that he could be the one spearheading votes, and like finding advantages and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely see that for him. And the social game, um, again, ties really into the strategic game. So I could see him, being the one to like be like, hey, let's start an alliance, and then like getting that all together.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'll be bummed if this guy leaves.
I think he'll also be a fun like character too for the show, which is like obviously what we, a big thing we want as well is like good confessionals and all that. And I think he'll provide it. So I'm really hoping he sticks around.
I think Sarah is, first of all, just gorgeous, but second of all, going to do pretty well in this. She also seems a little bit more outgoing than Liliana or whatever. I'm sorry. What was her name? Liana? The other.
Liana? Yeah. I think it was that.
So, like, I can see her being a front runner of the females. And that's how I'm gonna say it. I just can see her being a front runner. If you had to do all the dudes and all the male, the girls or all these kind of separate categories, I just can see her doing very well. And that's really all I can say. I think that she will make merge. Also could be a potential winner. I just get the vibe.
Yeah. I think she is also somebody I see being like solid on all three pillars. But again, she has that issue of like maybe people might immediately identify her as a threat. And like just reading her bio a little bit more, she has a really good story here too. She talks about how her grandmother passed away from COVID back in April 2020. So she definitely has like I feel like I could see her being a person a lot of people root for sure. And again, like I said, I think she'll be solid on every like aspect. I think it'll just depend on how she manages, threat level, because I could instantly see people being like, oh no, we got to get her out,
Yeah. But to your point, we haven't identified that many people as being that crazy of a threat. So like it says something, right, about our prediction on her.
Yeah.
Moving now to the pastor, Chantel Smith.
That's a pastor, yes.
This is a toss-up for me. I see her losing her shit. Pastors are leaders, in my opinion. Pastors are leaders. She's in here to help people, to bring people. And I don't know if they really like lying and deceit. And I know in her, like, casting thing, she's like, but that doesn't mean I don't, like, have fun or whatever it is. Like, I'm a pastor, but I live my life. I just see it as an interesting play. I don't think she'll make merge, and I could be, but to the point of this, I could be completely wrong, and she could be like killer. But I just see her getting hung up in leadership. She's eventually going to have either an issue with someone who's the leader of the camp, some dude kind of telling everyone what they should do. I think she will get caught up in that. Or maybe two females trying to run. I think she's going to want to be in the know, and the second she loses control, I think she will lose it.
Yeah, I agree. I think I also see her as a toss-up. And then being a pastor is always, because there's always in Survivor and like Big Brother, there's usually been this like a religious like archetype as well.
Okay.
And oftentimes that person's whole story is like the conflict with their faith, because these games you have to lie, you have to like manipulate, backstab. So it'll be interesting to see if she is willing to do that. And from I think the videos we've seen, she's definitely saying that she wants to do that. That she isn't gonna, just because she's a pastor doesn't mean she's gonna lie and all that. And she could definitely use that to her advantage in the game. If she tells people like, oh yeah, I'm a pastor, then she'll be seen as trustworthy and get invited to alliances. And if she doesn't lose her shit, then like that can help her. That she can use this. She can alter the perception that of people that think of the way people
Like,
think about her,
to
you
your
know?
point, there is such a if it comes out, there are also people that go, I don't want to work with her. So it's really interesting on what is the cast around her too, right? Like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
watch that much Survivor, but I think I have seen one character be overly religious or just kind of talk about it, and it deterred someone. So or just even if they're of a different faith or whatever. So
Yeah.
total toss up
Yeah.
on Chantel there. On to Sydney Segal. I think the other
Right,
person
so
we just chatted about, Sarah, has a better chance than Sydney. Like, this is for fun, but L.A. law student. What is that? What is that movie? L.A. law student.
Legally Blonde.
okay,
Legally
I'm back.
Blonde. She's not blonde. Not saying that she's not intelligent or anything like that, but automatic things will be thought and threats here. She's probably going to be good at challenges. I think she's either got to work with Sarah or like something.
Yeah.
She's good. I kind of like Sarah, I guess, but I feel like she has a worse chance than Sarah.
Yeah, I see her also being on a similar boat as Sarah. I think I can see her definitely having potential to do really well. It seems from her bio, it seems like she's very athletic, which is definitely going to be helpful in the early game.
She doesn't like snoring. That's going to suck for her. I bet someone's going to snore.
Yeah, and because the thing,
that's what's funny about
camp
the game,
life,
Luna, is like someone might snore and then she just might get super mad and like either go home or that person
and
will
that's
go
the thing.
home.
That's the thing we
Because
forget.
of snoring. I love
That's the thing
it.
we forget. Like when you're out there and like everybody stinks. Also, like everybody smells horrible, and then like you guys are also everybody has to like huddle up in like a bamboo like shelter.
You don't have to do that because I would be off on my own little shelter, not butt to cheek with everyone. I mean, if it gets cold at night, but anyways, toss up, I guess. I do agree.
Yeah.
She is athletic.
I think she'll stick around. I could see her making merge. I don't know.
Okay.
I think my thinking is what her role will be if she does end up getting into alliances and all that. Is she gonna lead votes? Is she gonna do that? Or is she maybe gonna let some of the other people duke it out?
Yeah. Do you know who Natalie White is? That's who she says she plays.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Natalie White is the winner of Survivor Samoa.
Okay.
Who Natalie White was a very under the radar.
Okay.
She let her whole thing was that in that season Russell Hantz did everything. Like Russell like literally found the idols, did like everything, but the thing is his dream management was horrible and everybody hated him. So they voted for Natalie to win.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then maybe I take it back. If that's kind of the character that she's vibing with and she can do that, she's gonna have a good chance, probably.
Yeah, but the thing with that is that type of and like that jury decision has always been debated, and in this era where Jeff and company are always encouraging big moves and all that, it'll be we'll see if that strategy if she does end up doing that
Right,
but I think she'll have good awareness for sure.
Okay.
I think she'll have good awareness.
So you're gonna say she's pretty aware and into stuff. So to that point, Luna, you're saying it's gonna take a little bit of effort to get her out. Because if you're aware, you're usually gonna need to kind of do some stuff to get them out.
I see her having a good read on like dynamics. It just depends on how she navigates that.
Yeah. So the next person, second to last here, is Tiffany Seeley, 47. From New York, lived in New York. I think she has an accent. I don't know about the New York accent. I'm sorry, guys. Teacher, funny, loving, loud. Would love to see her go far. Nothing to say that she might not. But if you're gonna put her next to to the other girl, it's gonna be a toss up. I don't think she'll be as good as challenges. She has nothing about athleticism at all in her bio. She runs. Never mind. I don't know on her. She's kind of to that level of a Desean on the other side of the gender spectrum. Like I think I'll either like her or hate her is all I can say.
I think so. The main thing that's sticking out is that she because I don't know if you saw that preview. There's like a 3-minute preview of the first episode, and
Oh no.
yeah, and in that, she talked about how like, oh yeah, she originally was like an alternate for this season, but then she eventually got on, and all that. Um, so kind of similar to I think it was Heather. She could play up the mom role, I could see her doing that. Like she leans into that, or like anything else. And she's also a teacher, so like, and being a teacher, you have to like manage a bunch of people, and have like a good awareness of like dynamics and all that.
Yeah.
So if she has the skills, is what I'm saying, and I could see her, being able to like maybe read how dynamics are going, and then be able to maybe insert herself into like key positions into the game. I'm definitely rooting for Tiffany, and I think I hope she'll do well for sure.
Yeah, I definitely will be checking her out here tonight on the thing, which brings us to our last person. Also, just not really a favorite. Maybe it's just because I'm getting so old, Luna. We have Xander Hastings, 21, from Florida, currently in Chicago, and an app developer. And I think he was pretty proud of his app, and nothing wrong with that at all. It's just something about the kind of age breakdown. For some reason in this episode, in this stuff, I swear they're either 20 or they're like 26.
Yeah. The age breakdown here is there's like not really much like in between.
Exactly.
People like the late 20s,
which might be
or like early
twist.
30s.
I don't know, but so when you put someone 21 that looks like you just pushed them off a bus, onto this island with his surfer hair, it's those sort of things that we're picking up right now is what other contestants will pick up, and it just all depends on how he vibes, but I don't think he's gonna make it to merge. That's my bet.
Yeah, I see.
He's too green. He's too green.
I see Xander being, a little arrogant maybe. I could see him maybe butting heads with people. Funny thing is he says his pet peeves are laziness and cockiness, so
you're gonna see both of that,
Yeah, and
people like to bark orders. Yeah.
Part of me wants to have hope for him because, he's definitely this like surfer dude, like or like at least just from his physical appearance. But yet, when you look at his like, oh yeah, he's an app developer. He seems like he's actually really intelligent.
Sure.
So, and that reminds me a lot of Tyler Crispin from Big Brother 20. Tyler. He came into that season as a surfer dude archetype, and he played into that. He made everybody think he was dumb and all that, and like he ended up being an incredible strategist and like was literally so close to winning that game. So I could see Xander pulling something, like maybe not like to the extent that Tyler did in Big Brother 20, but I could see him maybe if he could lean into that, make people think he isn't like intelligent or whatever, like and like if he ends up being like a big personality to tone that down with the others, I could see him doing well. But as it stands, I don't know. It'll depend on how he does out there. But
yeah, I think with that age breakdown, the least that you talk about your age, the better, because it is just such a world of difference. People will automatically count you as less experienced. It's just how it goes. But yeah, so that is everyone. We did everyone. We made bets on pretty much everyone. Real quick as we wrap it up, who do you want to win and who do you want to leave this first episode before we come back?
Your first episode?
So who do you want to win, and then who do you want to leave?
Who do I want to win? I want Ricard to win.
Okay.
Yeah, Ricard, and leave. I don't know. Probably some of the people, the person we didn't really have much to say about. So, like an Eric or, there's an Eric, or Nasir.
Oh yeah, Eric Abraham. Okay. Or Nasir. Okay.
Or maybe Brad. I don't know. I feel like we'll see. We'll see.
I can vibe with Brad if he behaves. We'll see.
Yeah. That's the thing. It'll depend on a lot on this first episode, because sometimes
that haircut is crazy, dude.
Sometimes a person appears a certain way in the pre-interviews, and then once they're actually on, it's like a completely different vibe, you know. So
Yep.
I think we'll get a better assessment after we watch this first
I know.
episode.
We will be like, what did we have wrong? So, oops, I'm obviously going to go with Mr. David. I would love to see maybe not him. Other than that, I want Jenny or Jeannie to win, no matter how it's said. I just think it's fun. I don't know if she'll really win, but that would be a wholesome opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of people to root for here. Like Jeannie, like for me, Tiffany, Sarah, Liana, you know, Erica.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people to root for here for sure, and it'll be very fun to watch how everybody does.
Yeah, so that's my David and maybe Heather. I don't know, but if Heather's gonna be sassy, I want her to stay.
And
so.
and David could be entertaining if he ends up like being able to do those things I was talking about. You know, if he because he's talking a lot, you know, and he's really like selling himself as like a dynamic like player and all that. So, you know, and if he's able to do it, then like hey, it could be very fun to watch. So yeah.
Well, cool. I think that pretty much wraps us up and sets us up for next episode. So without further ado, any other last remarks as we about to finally watch after a couple years some Survivor?
I'm very excited. It's also my first time watching a Survivor season as it airs. So I'm very hyped. Very hyped. I think it's going to be a great time, and I'm really excited to do this.
Rain on us, you know. Oh my God, my hair has been crazy. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching Gorge Tea.
Gorge Tea.
I'm Buck.
I'm Luna.
I pointed the wrong way. All right, we will see you sometime next week. Bye.
All right. Bye, everyone.